Don't turn that dial. Whatever you were planning on watching will be on very shortly. We're going to be bringing you a very brief interview this morning. This is Calvin Castine, and we are at SGS Auto in Chazy and Route 9, but we're not here to talk about automobiles. At Hometown Cable, we're always looking to highlight and spotlight local young talent. And 2 out of 3 is not bad. You're local and you're talented, Staub, but the young part, we're maybe a little bit too late on that one.
Yes, I was going to say something when you said young. I was going to say, I like you.
We're here because Staub has just put out, I'm going to be showing this in the future years too, so in future years it won't be just put out, but here in the year 2001 he has just put out a brand new CD. He's been in New York City, made how many trips?
Oh, about 4.
4 trips to New York and New Jersey to come up with this CD, and we're going to be learning all about it. It's a Christmas theme, and we're going to find out all about it, but I think for those of you who are not familiar with Staub Spiegel, we're going to find out a little bit about Staub Spiegel before we get into the actual video that we'll be talking about. Staub, you're a local boy. Your mother was a Everett, and you're a Spiegel, so
that's right.
Local families.
Lived here all my life. Moved away for about a year and a half. Lived in Toronto a little bit, but yes, I'm from the area, and all my family's from the area, so I kind of know everybody, and I like to be here, and so.
And your uncle Sid was a legend in local radio back many years ago.
Yes, I remember my Uncle Sid. Actually, I was only probably 6 or 7 when he died, but he had a great radio voice. I remember listening to him on the radio, and a lot of people still to this day comment on, his voice and how it was really, really good for the radio. And he had some funny things that he used to say.
Some on purpose.
Some on purpose. He was, but he was a well-known radio personality, and for many years ago.
Yes, Sidney J. And tell us your parents.
My parents, my mother lives in Ross's Point actually right now, and she spends the winters in Florida.
She was in Everett?
She was in Everett. My brother lives in Ross's Point, Arthur, and my sister Sky lives in Ross's Point. So everybody's pretty much around the area.
And your father's name was?
Stanley.
Okay, I knew Art back when I think I was a senior. This fellow showed up at St. Mary's for a year or part of a year, named Sonny Spiegel, and I think he was a sophomore at the time. And immediately everybody in the school liked the guy, and that's my first contact with the Spiegel family. And Staub, you've been in the music business for how long?
Well, pretty much since I was about 5 years old, believe it or not, when I had an old beat-up piano that was in my basement, and I can remember to this day the first time that my dad would come down and sing to me, and I would be able to play the song, and they were like shaking their heads going, how can he do that? But I learned how to play by ear, and what they did was they bought me this little teeny chord organ for my first Christmas, the push-button chord organ, and I would play songs in that chord organ just by ear, and they were just amazed, so they said, well, we got to get this child some lessons. So then they bought a bigger organ, and it kept on growing, and I started playing out by myself on organ and singing probably when I was about 14 years old. I played at the Skeetfield Tavern when the Skeetfield was open, and the Long Branch Saloon when that was open, and I played for a lot of weddings and parties and banquets, and played all over. Actually, how I made my spending money in college was by performing and by myself, and then I got to know friends, and one of the biggest bands that I actually got into was Bad Habit with Kevin Conley and John Gay and Tom Longwear, they're still actually in the area, but they're still playing in the bands. I haven't played in a band in about 20 years, believe it or not. But I always have my interest in music. I have a little studio in my house. I have a digital baby grand piano and all the recording equipment so I can burn my own CDs and write my own songs, and so that's I do the jingles, write commercials for Latrimores and Chauvian Agency and Manette's Furniture. I've done all their ads for them for a long time, and just to keep my nose and my interest in music there, and do most of it at home. So
when you started out, you were like that character in Peanuts there, Schroeder was sitting at the piano with the...
That's pretty much it. 2 fingers, but after a while you learn it. So
you learned it by ear. That's so you've obviously... Anybody else in your family musical?
Nobody. There's nobody in my family that's musical at all, and there's nobody that can carry a tune beside myself, and that's kind of funny. Even my sons. I mean, I got 3 boys, and none of them can carry a tune, and it's really funny, but that's just how it works, I guess. So
Yeah. And now the Shazy has adopted your version of the national anthem. I was at a couple ball games last night, and they're still playing your national anthem. I know they played it at all the soccer games this year, and they played it at Seton Catholic. And so your version of the national anthem is going to be up there with Kate Smith's "God Bless America," probably.
well, we hope so. That'd be nice. If I can make the money she did.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about this video we're about to see, and where the concept came from, and what you went through to make it happen.
Well, how it all actually started was I had a uncle, Bud Neverett, that had passed away last year, right before Christmas. It was probably, I'm not sure the exact date. I'm terrible about that. I'm sorry. I think it was probably October or so when he died. But anyway, when it came Christmas time, I just went up to my studio, sat at the piano, and this song just came to me, and I said, I was trying to think of, this music kind of came to me, and I said, well, geez, if I could have something for Christmas, what would it be? And I said, wouldn't it be nice to be able to go to see your friends that have died and, just visit them for the day? And wouldn't it be nice if you could bring them back to the earth for the day to see their families and just let them know that, they're okay, and so that they could, cope a little bit better with them being gone. So anyway, I made the CD. It's called If I Could Have Something for Christmas, on my own home studio. And I was at a Christmas party one night at a friend's house, and one of the wiry DJs was there. And I said, geez, I got this song that I really would like you to hear. Would you mind listening to it? And he said, sure. I mean, he's a nice gentleman, John Shearer. So we went out in my car, and he heard it. And he says, my gosh, this thing is beautiful. So he says, why don't we put it on the radio? So I said, sure. He says, come in Saturday and we'll play it and we'll talk to you, we'll interview you. And I said, great, I just wanted, people to hear it. So we went in on Saturday and he interviewed me for a little bit and we talked about it, and then he played the song and the phones rang right off the hook. It was just amazing, and I wasn't really prepared, but this lady says, well, where can we buy it? And I said, well, I didn't really plan on selling it. I just wanted people to hear it, but if you want me to burn a version for you, I'll charge you $5, and I'll send all the money to the Shazy boys soccer team because they were going to Europe that year. So to make a long story short, we burned over 300 CDs. Wow. And at 7 minutes of CD, I sat there for days and days and days burning these CDs because I've only got like one little CD burner, but it was worth it. It was fun. The boys really appreciated it. And then when the September 11th happened, I was watching it, and a couple weeks later I said, my, wouldn't it, what would the fire department say, or the policemen's families think if they heard this song? I mean, just think of what meaning it would be for them. So I said, well, I'm going to try to pursue, doing this nationally. I mean, this song went so well over, just in this area. I said, I'm going to try to see what I can do on a national level and see what happens. So I actually got on the internet and looked for a publishing company, which I found one. I sent it to a publishing company, and within 3 days they were on the phone on a conference call with this record producer, and they were ecstatic about the song, and they said, this song is just, wonderful song, and with the situation down here in New York, I mean, there's going to be so many people that are really going to relate to this song. And we definitely want to pursue it. We have to hurry because this was in September when we started this. It's really pushing it right now because Christmas was coming up. So anyway, to make a long story short, within a few weeks, we signed a recording contract, I take that back, a recording contract to do the song. They had studio musicians come in. Everything you hear on this tape is all done by studio musicians. All I did was sing it. And actually, I had asked them, who's going to be doing the song, and they said, well, we want you to do the song because we feel that the artist will put a lot more emotion into the song than if we have somebody else do it. Afterwards, if somebody else wants to sing a song, they'll have to give you a licensing agreement. So, there may be a lot of other artists that may want to do the song. So we're going to see what happens. Within the song is done. You'll see the video, obviously.
They're busting the doors down here, if you can hear that noise, trying to get into SGS, but we've We've got another door that people will be coming in, so if you hear that noise, don't be distracted. Go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt you there, Staub, but
That's
people were
okay.
pounding.
As of today's the 19th of December, the video and the song is going out to the record companies yesterday and today, and they are very confident that within 10 days we'll have a recording contract. So we're really excited and nervous and waiting and see what happens.
Okay. Now there's two things here. One is the CD with the music on it, but there's also the video too.
Right.
Now you also did a lot of work to make that video happen, right?
Yeah, we went down to I went down to New Jersey for 2 days. We shot one night in the studio with me at the microphone, which you'll see, and me at the piano. And then the next day we went to Upper Manhattan. We went to Rockefeller Center, which you'll see shots of Rockefeller Center, shots of St. Patrick's Cathedral. We went all the way up like 52nd and 55th Street. There's a lot of different shots that you'll see that it's all done in Upper Manhattan. And it was really touching doing this because the way you do it, obviously, they have you sing the song, but you really don't have a microphone or anything, so you're kind of lip syncing it.
Mm-hmm.
But they have the music playing, and there was people all around. You couldn't see the people. They really wanted to show the people, but they were afraid to because, they might get in trouble if, showing certain people. But the reaction from the people was just amazing. I mean, it really, really touched these people when they heard this song. I mean, we had literally, this one lady was literally sobbing. She had a picture of her husband in her hand.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of those mass cards. And, I mean, she just sat there and looked at it, and she was just weeping. And the producer was like, my gosh, can you, I just can't believe the reaction that these people had from just playing a little bit of it at a time. And it was really, really touching. So we're just hoping that, this song will, affect a lot of people. And it's not just them. Like I say, I made this song a year ago, so it wasn't like we were trying to take advantage of a situation.
Right.
This song was already done a year ago, and what they did was they just kind of made it more Christmassy with the background music that they used. So it really came out pretty nice. We're pretty happy with it, and excited to, see the reaction from everybody, especially the people in New York, see how they react to it.
Now, obviously, this is December 19th, and there's no way it's going to hit the market to have a Christmas sale this year. Is there hope that this would become a Christmas type of song, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer every year, or White Christmas song every year?
According to the publicist, which is Tito Batista, he's with Black Rose Productions, he loves the song so much. I mean, he thinks it may become a standard. And he says, I know it's going to be a little bit late for this year, but we just want to create the buzz this year about the song. And he says, you got three things going for you. Number one, it is a Christmas song, okay, which is very unusual for an artist to do a Christmas song. I mean, if it was an everyday, regular song, it would come and go in a hurry. But because it's a Christmas song, he thinks it'll be played every year. He also thinks that there's going to be a lot of other artists that are going to want to probably sing this song, which will be good. And again, I guess his main focus is if it doesn't, if we obviously can't get it out this year, next year the record company is going to want to really push it because they've already got it. They're going to have a big investment in it, so they're not just going to give it up. So I'm unfortunately this year we won't get the push that we need, but next year we're going to really push it. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Now, we're not here to as a commercial here by any means. We're here to, because as I said, I like to showcase local people, even if they're not young, that have some talent and are out there putting use to that talent. And obviously, there are videos and there are CDs. Is it possible to buy them from you? We haven't talked about this on camera before.
Right now, I do have some copies. I'm not really selling them yet because I'm trying to wait to find out if the record company is going to release it as a single or if they're going to actually, from what I'm told, they may actually have me do it as an album and put the song on the album. So we're trying to wait to see what happens with that. But I do want to mention that we have agreed that all net proceeds for this song for like the first couple of years, everything's going to be directed to the World Trade Relief Fund, which Governor Pataki is actually overseeing. So any net proceeds that we make from this is going directly to the family. So.
Okay. Anything else that we should know, Staub, before we tune into this video? I'm kind of anxious to watch it.
Just that it's my first time, and I hope nobody laughs.
Well, it's not your first time because you've been out there, as you said, you stopped playing 20 years ago in bands, and you must have played at least a year or two before that. So that makes you at least 30 years old.
It was a lot of fun doing the video. I mean, to get up there with the camera and just put your feeling into the song. That's the only thing that you can really do. It's not a type of song where it's a dance song or anything like that. It was a real emotional song, so I did the best I could, and we're pretty happy with it. It came out pretty good. I love the scenes in it, and I think local people will be pretty impressed with it.
All right, here it is in the title.
If I Could Have Something for Christmas.
By Staub Spiegel.
If I could have something for Christmas, I would go to heaven for the day to visit my friends for the day till it ends. I'm not really sure what I'd say if I could have something for Christmas. I'd bring 'em back to the earth for the day to give them some hope for their families to go, just to celebrate in their own special way. Bring them back for the holidays, warm my heart from the cold. Bring them back for the memories before my heart turns old. To give them some hope for the families to come, just to celebrate in their own special way. Bring them back for the holidays, warm my heart from the cold. Bring them back for the memories before my heart turns old. If I could have something for Christmas, I would go to heaven for the day to visit my friends Christmas, I'd bring 'em back to the earth for the day, to give them some home for the families to call, just to celebrate